We will call the Common Council back to order. I will ask our clerk to call the roll.
Alderperson Lysick.
Here.
May.
Here.
Probst.
Here.
Ranky.
Here.
Rote.
Here.
Vitale.
Here.
Weigel.
Here.
Barzak.
Here.
Chapletsky. Haas.
Here.
10 present, none excused.
We have quorum. We will begin with our Administration and Finance Committee, Alderman Haas.
Drawing the council's attention to items 13 and item 13 only is a joint administration and finance and public works committee referral that was acted upon favorably by all members of both committees to adopt. And item 15 was the action was to place on file. That is the administration and finance committee report. I move for approval of the report.
Second.
There's a motion with a second by Alderman May. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Alderperson Lysick.
Aye.
May.
Aye.
Probst.
Aye.
Ranky.
Aye.
Rote.
Aye.
Vitale.
Aye.
Weigel.
Aye.
Barzak.
Aye.
Chapletsky.
Aye.
Haas.
Aye.
10 in favor, none opposed.
Motion carries.
Thank you, Mayor Devine.
Thank you. Next, we will do the Public Works Committee, Alderman Barzak.
I would like to make your attention to items number 16 through 23, the resolutions that have been adopted by all 5 members of the committee. And 20 and 21, one is a petition to place on file, and 21, a communication to place on file. I move for adoption of the committee's report.
Second.
There's a motion and a second by Alderperson Ranky. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Alderperson Lysick.
Aye.
May.
Aye.
Probst.
Aye.
Ranky.
Aye.
Rote.
Aye.
Vitale.
Aye.
Weigel.
Aye.
Barzak.
Aye.
Chapletsky.
Aye.
Haas.
Aye.
10 in favor, none opposed.
Motion carries.
Mayor Devine, that is all. Thank you.
Thank you. Safety and Development Committee, Alderman Lysick.
Mayor Devine. I refer you to items 25 through 31 on your agenda, various communications and resolutions acted upon favorably by all 5 members of the committee. I move for adoption of the committee report.
Second.
There's a motion with a second by Alderman Vitale. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Alderperson Lysick.
Aye.
May.
Aye.
Probst.
Aye.
Ranky.
Aye.
Rote.
Aye.
Vitale.
Aye.
Weigel.
Aye.
Barzak.
Aye.
Chapletsky. Haas.
Aye.
10 in favor, none opposed.
Motion carries.
That's all, Mayor.
Thank you. License and Health, Alderman Chapletsky. Bring sandwiches.
Okay, I'd like to bring everyone's attention to items 7 through 9 and 32 and 33, tonight's agenda. These are various license and reports to vote to either place on file, approve or approve subject to necessary requirements, with the exception of number 9, which was to dismiss. And this was voted on by all 5 members. I'd like to move for the adoption of this portion of the committee's report.
Second.
There's a motion with a second by Alderman Weigel. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Then we got item 10. This is voted for approval by 4 members. It's 1 member voting no. I'd like to move for the adoption of this portion of the committee's report.
Second.
There's a motion and a second by Alderman Barzak. Any discussion?
Mayor Devine,
Alderman Weigel?
I was the lone dissenting vote on this application. In this case, the applicant, although on his application did list 2 driving offenses, he neglected to add on his application the fact that there's a possession of controlled substance as well as possession, consumption of alcohol by himself when he was underage, and that was in 2011. That was the reason for my no vote on this application.
Thank you, Alderman Weigel. Any other discussion? Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Alderperson Lysick.
Aye.
May.
Aye.
Probst.
Aye.
Ranky.
Aye.
Rote.
Aye.
Vitale.
Aye.
Weigel.
No.
Barzak.
Aye.
Jablonski. Haas.
Aye.
9 in favor, 1 opposed.
Motion carries.
Then we have item number 11. This is voted for by 3 members to approve, with 2 voting no. I'd like to move for the adoption of this portion of the committee's report.
Second.
There's a motion with a second by Alderman Lysick. Is there any discussion on this item?
Mayor Devine.
Alderman Haas.
Yeah, I was one of the votes in favor of approval of this license. This is a proposed licensee who has a very checkered driving history. She has, and I have it in front of me here, a number of operating while suspended tickets over a 3-year period from 2013 to 2016. I think that does bring into question an issue of whether she's going to obey the laws and follow the laws. What did it for me in her case is she has a valid driver's license now. She has cleaned this up. She is following the law. She is obeying the law now. So my vote is yes in this matter.
Thank you, Alderman Haas. Any other discussion?
Mr. Mayor,
Alderman Vitale?
for what I heard from Alderman Haas, so there was no alcohol connected in any way,
That's correct. No alcohol connected.
alcohol, so,
And I'm double checking that as I say that. Correct. No alcohol connection.
thank you.
Thank you, Alderman Vitale. Any other discussion?
Mayor Devine?
Alderman Weigel?
Yeah, I would agree with Alderperson Haas that, as of right now, she has not been caught breaking any laws. But on the application, we have that line I keep coming back to, have you been ticketed, arrested, convicted, or fined for any violation, federal, state, city laws, including felony, misdemeanor, civil, and traffic? And she checked no. Okay? I know we've never done this, but there has been at least one case brought to my attention, one of our neighboring suburbs charged and convicted an applicant with false swearing by checking no on that box and then signing the application. I'm not asking to charge her with false swearing. I'm asking her to fill out the application accurately next time.
Mr. Mayor,
Thank you, Alderman Weigel.
if I
Alderman
could,
Vitale?
is that possible in the future, the applications of the applicant will be highlighted, where maybe some people, they just disregard the fact, or they do it for their own reasons? I have no idea, but maybe to highlight it in blue or red, or whatever the color which, the clerk office decided to do, to me would be ideal. The way they can say, well, I didn't see it, or I misunderstood, yes or no, To me, I think it would be more, attract their eyesight, instead of just, many people throughout the years that I know, sometimes they mark no without really realize what no means. Probably sometimes they don't know how to read, I think, that's the way I see it.
Mayor Devine?
Really, or they just, they do that for their own purpose,
Thank you, Alderman. Alderman Chapletsky?
If you see the application, it's in pretty bold letters, and it's pointed out by the clerk's office, so
I know.
sometimes we don't know why they do it, but I just miss it. I think it's pretty obvious to most
Yes,
people.
it is, I understand that.
Mayor Devine,
Alderperson Ranky?
did she have any drug-related offenses?
I can answer that. I have it here, Alderperson Reinke, and the answer is no, no drug-related. All driving, and it's operating while suspended, operating with no insurance, just in a 3-year period from 2013 to 2016.
Mayor Devine. So this brings me to a good point. First of all, I agree with Alderman Weigel on this one. I mean, it wasn't just, gee, I missed a couple from the past. These were all things within the last 3 years. It's very blatant, the statement down there. She did check no. I mean, it's not like she missed the statement entirely. But in addition to that, it's 3 years of continually getting caught driving while suspended in various communities. And if I recall correctly, there were 2 to 3 times on there she got a ticket for driving with no insurance as well. And the reason this is a big deal to the License and Health Committee, or at least from what I've seen from being on it for the last year, is because it shows a lack of respect for the laws that we have. And that was one of the points that Alderman Weigel had made in committee, and I agree with him. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other discussion? Madam Clerk?
Mayor,
Alderperson
did she
Ranky?
give a reason for saying no?
Mayor Devine. She did, and I can't recall the reason. I can't recall.
Yeah,
She did give a reason.
Also, I don't think we asked her necessarily, why did you put that, so it did,
Okay.
wasn't asked it directly, as I recall.
Very good.
Thank you.
Any other discussion? Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Alderperson Lysick.
Aye.
No.
No.
Ranky.
No.
Rote.
Aye.
Vitale.
Aye.
Weigel.
No.
Barzak.
No.
Chapletsky.
Aye.
Haas.
Aye.
5 in favor, 5 opposed.
Can I see what you have, Alderman Haas,
Yes.
before I vote?
Well, I won't give my discussion at all, but that's it.
Thank you. Looking at the record, I will vote no.
5 in favor, 6 opposed.
Motion fails. All right,
Okay.
where were you?
Do we need to make another motion?
Need another motion to deny?
Move to deny. Item number 11.
Second. Motion with a second by Alderperson Probst. Any discussion? Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Alderperson Lysick.
Aye.
May.
Again, this is a motion to deny.
To
Yeah.
deny.
Aye.
Probst.
Aye.
Ranky.
Aye.
Rote.
Aye.
Vitale.
Aye.
Weigel.
Aye.
Barzak.
Aye.
Chapletsky.
Aye.
Haas.
Aye.
10 in favor, none opposed.
Motion carries.
Then we have item number 34. Yeah. This is the Bundy Liquor Store. It was voted on by 4 members to shut him down for 45 days. As amended, the amendment was 24 hours after the mayor signs it, is when it starts, with 1 person being excused. I'd like to move for the adoption of this portion of the committee's report.
Second.
There is a motion with a second by Alderperson Probst.
Mayor Devine.
Alderman Lysick.
I've read the findings of fact that the committee laid out, and Mr. Singh, the owner of the store and the license, has testified in the committee that, he indeed purchased intoxicating liquor from approximately 3 general beverage employees on 3 to 4 different occasions in 2016, that the New Berlin Police Department's investigation revealed that his intoxicating liquor had been stolen from General Beverage Company, that Mr. Singh purchased the intoxicating liquor from General Beverage employees that were not wearing their General Beverage uniforms and were not driving a General Beverage truck, that the purchase of this alcohol was not from a wholesaler. It was, in fact, paid for in cash and significantly cheaper than the wholesale price, and that Mr. Singh never received any invoices from the purchase of this intoxicating liquor. And the aforementioned liquor was stored by General Beverage employees with the knowledge of Mr. Singh in the boiler room of the basement of Bunty's Liquor on the premises, separated from his intoxicating liquor that he had legally purchased, and that he concealed it with cardboard. Mr. Singh admitted that he knew the purchase of the liquor was illegal and concealed the liquor on the licensed premises behind the cardboard petition, and that on August 23rd of last year, New Berlin Police Department officers, Department of Revenue agents, confiscated the illegal liquor, which consisted of 69 cases of Sky Vodka, 18.5 cases of Mr. Boston Vodka, and 70 cases of Skoal Vodka. Now, I don't know if any of you have been past Bunty's Liquor Store. This is not discount liquor. This is not consumer liquor. This is not Ray's liquor. This is a small neighborhood liquor store. There is no way that he is going to sell 69 cases of Sky Vodka to customers coming in that store in 2 years, much less any reasonable amount of time, along with 70 cases of Skoal Vodka plus the Mr. Boston Vodka. That's well over 1,000 bottles of vodka. He just doesn't support that kind of traffic. There is no way that he does that business. So I think we can conclude from the fact that he has this liquor and was purchased it on several occasions, that he is in fact acting as a fence and selling liquor to taverns, other individuals, at a discounted rate. Now, I think that, that being the case, 45 days is wholly inadequate for this type of violation. He's violated state statutes, the administrative code, the revenue tax section. He's permitted criminal activity to occur on a licensed premises. And I would at this time move to amend the 45-day suspension to be a revocation.
Second.
We have a motion, we have a second. Is there any discussion?
Mayor Devine?
Alderman May?
I would like to add to Alderman Lysak's comments. In closed session, it was my opinion we should also revoke this license. The statements from the gentleman that on a normal basis, what would happen is a general beverage employee would show up in uniform with a general beverage vehicle with an invoice that would be paid 30 days later. That was typical operations. In these cases, a general beverage employee would show up without street clothes on, or in street clothes, not in his uniform, in a personal vehicle, and demand cash for the alcohol at a much discounted rate on stolen liquor. And it didn't happen once or twice. He's admitted to at least 3, and it's possible 4, based on the hearing that we had. I think it's, you do it once, you notice you do something wrong, you find a way to correct it. But when you do it that many times, you know what you're doing, you know it's against the law. There's absolutely no reason this gentleman should be allowed to carry out this business with a Class A license.
Thank you. Any other discussion? Okay, Alderman Haas?
So, our discussion further on license and health, I can add to it that this gentleman, Mr. Singh, admitted that he was wrong, admitted that he shouldn't have done it, was generally cooperative when confronted with this evidence, and 45 days, I can tell you as a small business owner, is something that's going to hurt. It may be questionable whether or not that he'll even be able to stay in business after being closed for 45 days with no revenue. I think that 45 days, which came out of committee, is the appropriate punishment in this case. Therefore, I'd urge the rest of the council to stick with 45 days.
Thank you, Alderman Haas. Any other discussion?
Mr. Chairman,
Alderman Barzak?
sitting on license, I don't sit on license and health currently, but I have for many years and have been chairman, I think, for 8 and sat on it probably another 8 for 16. And I don't think I have ever seen something of this severe since I've been sitting on the committee, and I can't agree more. I'm sure that if we would take this to court or to a hearing, there is no doubt in my mind that total revocation is no doubt in my mind the adequate thing to do here. Again, I've never seen something like this before. Thank you.
Thank you, Alderman. Any other discussion?
Mayor Devine?
Alderman Weigel?
I actually have a question for the city attorney. I was the complainant in this case originally, so I was unable to be a part of the discussion and the deliberation, therefore I'm the excused vote on this. And my question for the city attorney, is this essentially still the same problem before us now? Would I be allowed to vote on the amendment that the council president has offered?
the law is very clear that in committee where you're a fact finder, you can't be both the complainant and the fact finder. The law is less clear and unsettled with regard to your ability to vote than as an alderman or participate as an alderman after the hearing. My recommendation would be, since you chose to sign the complaint and be the individual complainant, that you still recuse yourself from this to avoid any question as we go forward, to give the licensee any claim that this was improper, that you would just remain out of it in the instance. And that's why we recommend that aldermen don't individually sign complaints. Do it as a committee. That way you don't have the personal involvement.
Thank you.
Sure.
Okay, any other discussion? The motion is to amend the motion from a 45-day suspension to revocation. So if you are in favor of revocation, you will vote aye. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Alderperson Lysick.
Aye.
May.
Aye.
Probst.
Aye.
Ranky.
Aye.
Rote.
No.
Vitale.
No.
Weigel. Barzak.
Aye.
Chapletsky.
No.
Haas.
No.
5 in favor, 4 opposed, 1 present.
The amendment passes. Now we will vote on the motion as amended. Any discussion on that? Motion is now to revoke. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Alderperson Lysick.
Aye.
May.
Aye.
Probst.
Aye.
Ranky.
Aye.
Rote.
No.
Vitale.
No.
Weigel.
Present.
Barzak.
Aye.
Chapletsky.
No.
Haas.
No.
5 in favor, 4 opposed, 1 present.
Motion carries.
And last but not least, we have 35 and 36, which is the summons and complaint and the police report. It was voted by 4 members to place on file, with 1 member being excused. I'd like to move for the adoption of the final portion of this committee's report.
Second.
There is a motion with a second by Alderman Barzak. Is there any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. We now do the advisory committee.
Mayor Devine.
Alderperson Ranky.
Yeah, a little bit the chair over there for you to sit.
I direct the council's attention to items number 37, 38, 39, and 40 on tonight's agenda. Consists of 1 resolution and various appointments and reappointments approved by the committee. I move for their approval. Mayor Devine.
Second.
There is a motion with a second by Alderman May. Is there any discussion?
Mayor Devine,
Alderman Weigel.
I just had a quick question. I have number 37. I'm familiar with when the West Dallas a la carte is defined as a community event, and that also includes alcohol service, or the allowance of alcohol consumption on public streets. That's not what this is about. I didn't see any of that in there. This is about the city partnering with the event for providing services. That's correct? Okay.
Has to do with Boy Scouts
Yeah,
and Girl
yeah, the hike
Scouts.
from Franklin to,
No, they're nonprofit.
they're not drinking beer.
There wouldn't be no
Thank you.
liquor.
I might,
Thank you, Alderman Weigel.
Any other discussion? Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Alderperson Lysick.
Aye.
May.
Aye.
Probst. Ranky.
Aye.
Rote.
Aye.
Vitale.
No. Aye. Sorry about, I was dreaming.
He wants the Boy Scouts, right?
Weigel.
Aye.
Barzak.
Aye.
Chapletsky. Haas.
Aye.
10 in favor, none opposed.
Motion carries.
That is all, Mayor.
Thank you.
Mayor Devine.
Alderman Lysick.
I move that we adjourn until our next
Mayor
regularly
Devine.
scheduled
Mayor
meeting.
Devine.
I'm sorry.
Alderman Lysick, I thought you were going to make announcements about
You-
the,
Thank you, Alderman Barzak. I just wanted to remind everyone on the council that there is a safety and development meeting tomorrow night at 6 PM, which will be discussing all of the major developments that are taking place in the city. So it would probably behoove those members that are not on the committee to attend as well. Now,
As you were.
I move that we adjourn until our next regularly scheduled meeting, Tuesday, April 18th at 7 PM.
Second.
There's a motion and a second by Alderperson Ranky. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. We are adjourned.